Hey there guys, Mike from The Fix here to bring you the roundup of what we saw at the EA conference on day 0 of E3. It was the last conference of day 0, and with this, E3 is now in full swing and there was a lot to cover, so I'm going to get right in. Alright, so the first thing that we saw was a trailer for Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, this is obviously not Mass Effect 4 because it's not called Mass Effect 4, duh. Are you paying attention? Come on, seriously. But it's going to be more of a side story thing. They've said that in press conferences before when talking about the future of Mass Effect. Not really much to go on here because it is just a trailer, no gameplay or anything like that. Looking forward to more Mass Effect, always. Speaking of brilliant series, moving swiftly along, that's how you segue, kids. We have the Need for Speed Reboot, which was a trailer and gameplay demo, which was pretty cool to watch, actually. It definitely looks like it's captured the spirit of Need for Speed Underground, which were my favourite of the series. Honestly, the Underground series was so good, so I'm really looking forward to this. It looks just fun, honestly, and, you know, at the end of the day, that's what games are all about, right? Ugh. So the third thing that they announced was Star Wars The Old Republic has an expansion. You know, that MMO that came out a while ago that everyone said was going to kill WoW, and then WoW still exists, and it's now free to play. It's good though. I will admit, I did play it when it first came out, and I enjoyed it a lot, and this new expansion, Knights of the Fallen Empire, will be free to all subscribers, and free players as well, I'd imagine. Yeah, it looks pretty damn good. They said they wanted to focus on telling a story in the true BioWare style, with where your choices actually make a difference and affect the story, which is hard to do in an MMO, and they succeeded to some degree originally. But they've said that they want to bring their A game to this, and it's going to be really, really cool to see how they implement this in an MMO. I'm probably going to get back into it just to see this. It's going to be pretty damn cool. Okay, so the next thing that they announced was a game called Unravel. This is a brand new IP, and it was a puzzle platformer about a character made of yarn. The yarn kind of unravels as you move along the map, and it's a physics puzzle platformer. So the usual kind of swinging on yarn ropes and things like that, and catapulting yourself and slingshotting yourself across the levels was shown in the trailer. Looking forward to this one. Didn't expect to see it. Happy that I did. And you should all look forward to it, because I said so. Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2. The sequel you didn't ask for, but will probably play anyway. I've played a fair bit of Garden Warfare 1, and it is a pretty fun game to just chill out on. And they're adding new game modes. They're adding Graveyard Ops, which is going to be kind of like a 4-player co-op where you play as the zombies against the plants. There are new classes. So the ones they showed off were Imp, Super Brains, Zoologist, Captain Deadbeard. They're all pretty damn cool. I won't go into detail on what they do here because we don't have time. But they look interesting, they look unique, and they look like they could be fun to play. So, you know, those are kind of things you want. They're going to have single player and local co-op modes in the new game, which is going to be good because that was lacking in the first game. And they've said that all content updates, well, they've said they're going to give free content updates. They haven't said that all of them will be free, so there could be some paid DLC, but assume that they meant free because reasons. Okay, so then we move on to the usual roundup of EA sports stuff. We had NHL 16, we had PGA Tour, we had NBA 16. Not really much to say on these, apart from the fact that it's a roster update and the usual bullcrap about, oh, this year it's going to be completely different, and then it winds up being basically the same thing with a few changes. So the one thing that did catch my eye about these games was that they announced PGA Tour would be the first sports game by EA to use the Frostbite engine. It means that I get to fire golf balls at buildings and people and golf carts and not have to pay fines to the country club. I can do it in game, and it will probably look pretty damn realistic. So 10 out of 10. Then, of course, we have the obligatory FIFA 16. Now, I say obligatory, it was pretty damn cool. They had Pele on stage, and they had him telling stories and everything like that. That was pretty cool to see. They went on about balancing the experience for players, changing and innovating around the pitch in defense, midfield, and offense, and things like that. They wanted a higher competitive experience, which I think those are fair points to make for a FIFA game. Again, we'll have to see if they actually mean anything, or if they're just another roster update disguised as innovation. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, now this was probably, if not the biggest, joint first, it was the second biggest thing that people wanted to see. Mirror's Edge Catalyst. We got to see gameplay of it, we got to see cinematic trailers, and it's looking like it's going to be the origin story of Faith. The big thing that excites me is that it's going to be an open world, free roaming city. So like no levels or loading screens. That's just, oh my god, that blew my mind. Honestly, like I've put so many hours into Mirror's Edge 1. It's a flawed perfection is how I'll describe it, and if they expand and polish the gameplay, this is looking to be such a good game. And finally, the big thing that they had was obviously the one that everyone wanted to see, Star Wars Battlefront. They showed screenshots and they finally showed gameplay of it, and it put a lot of the fears that I think people had to rest. It looks like Battlefront, it looks like it plays like Battlefront. Obviously you have the usual scripted people playing it in multiplayer, like it was in game, but they were obviously pseudo acting. But from what we saw, it's looking like it's going to be pretty damn epic. I am happy with how it looks. It's put a lot of my doubts that I had out of my mind at the moment, and that's really all we wanted. So anyway, that's the roundup of the EA conference. Let us know what you thought in the comments below, and keep an eye on the channel for all the big conferences coming up over the next couple of days. We'll be covering all of them because we're dedicated like that, and it's honestly a lot of fun. So keep an eye out here on The Fix. I've been Mike, and thanks for listening.